go.
Good afternoon, class. My name is Mrs. Smith, and today we're going to be talking about Plato and his influence on modern education. He was born in Greece in 427 BC. He was descended from royalty, so he was expected to go into politics, and he was exposed to war and politics when he was a young man. Here you could see that Plato and Socrates are standing in a marketplace. That it was more than a marketplace back in ancient Athens, where people would come together and discuss their ideas. So when he was 15 years old, he began to hang out with a lot of people in the marketplace, and that's where he met Socrates, who became his lifelong friend and teacher. And this is where Plato developed his theory of idealism. Here you can see that there is a picture of Plato pointing up to the sky. He says that truth can be found outside of the physical realm, beyond what our eyes can see. He believed that people have all of the knowledge that they're ever going to have at the time of their birth. And when they learn new knowledge, it just kind of reminds them of what they already knew. It unlocks what they already knew. He then began to write a book called Republic and Law, in which he wrote a lot of his ideas about education. He believed that both men and women should be educated, which is a lot different than it had been already previously in Athens. So that was kind of revolutionary for its time. He also believed that men and women should be educated to be future leaders of the state, to be very, very good citizens, that they should be educated in virtuous perceptions, justice, and leadership. He believed that the students, if they were educated in the most excellent way possible, that they would be just, and he believed that social justice was very important. He also wanted curriculum to be organized, age-appropriate, sponsored by the state, which we can see in our current system now. He didn't want families to be in charge of education. He wanted to level the playing field so that everyone could receive a quality education. He wanted students to think about abstract thoughts such as freedom, justice, beauty, goodness, and virtue. He wanted people in society to develop deeper truths. We can see that in our current education as well. It reminds me of Marzano's gradual release model. When I think about his education philosophy, I do, we do, and you do. He wanted students to problem solve and think for themselves. He believed that students were capable of learning through suffering and through painful experiences. So that makes me think of critical thinking that we have in our current education system today. After students were educated up until the year of 18 years old, he believed that students could go on to places like universities. He developed something called the academy, in which universities are modeled after today, where they were educated in military affairs and gymnastics class. They took wrestling and dance, where they could use that on the battlefield as well as in celebrations. So a lot of his ideas I can see are applied to our current education system today, although I do believe that we need to revisit some of his philosophies. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoyed this overview of Plato's theory of education.